Hello and welcome, my name is Jocelyn and today we are doing an Empties video. It's been a few months since I filmed an Empties video, so we are here today to talk about some skincare, body care, some makeup items. A lot of this stuff has been stuff that's actually empty, and then I do have a few decluttered items that are either expired, almost finished up, but I just do not want to be bothered with using all the way up, and I think that covers all of my bases. So here is my box full of stuff. So it's relatively full, not the most full that I've had in the past, but there's a hefty amount of things in here. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about some things that, if you're familiar with my channel, you may recognize. The first is the Drunk Elephant Slay Makeup Melting Butter Cleanser. I did pick another one of these up during the most recent VIB sale. Here is the emptiness of this one. This is by far my favorite makeup cleanser. I have had someone recommend the number 7 cleanser, but then somebody else said that they didn't really like it because it got into the eyes and got really blurry, and I use my makeup removing balms on my eyes, so that's kind of concerning to me. I also had interest in trying out the Good Molecules one, but I did hear somebody else say that they didn't really like that one. And another one that I've actually had recommended to me recently is the ColourPop. I think it's an actual oil, not a balm like these ones are, and that person said that they use it on their eyes and they don't have any issues and they really like it. It's the Fourth Ray Beauty, so the ColourPop sister brand that is primarily skincare focused. So I'm really interested in trying that one because I haven't tried an oil. I've only ever tried balms like this because I no longer use makeup wipes. So that one is now first up on my want to try list, but I do currently have one of these that I am using up, but it might be nice to try other ones alongside of this one, just in case those don't work out. I still have one that I know and love. Next, something that's been a long time favorite for me is the Kale and Green Tea Spinach Vitamin Superfood Cleanser by Youth to the People. This is a big, full-size, empty bottle. Like with the cleansing balm, I picked up another one of these during the most recent VIB sale, so now I have a big full size in my life and I'm so excited. This works really well for my skin type. I have an oily skin type. There's also a skincare enthusiast YouTube channel, Hyram, who has oily skin also and really loves this. So I know I'm not alone in saying that this is one of my favorite skincare items. So if you have oily skin, this might be a really good option for you. If you have dry skin, I don't know. I feel like it would work really well for any skin types because it is pretty clean skincare item, but I don't have dry skin, so I can't say with 100% certainty that it would work for you. But if you have oily skin, I can say that it very likely might. So I've recently branched out and been trying less expensive skincare items, things that won't break the bank. For a long time there, I was using the Drunk Elephant products, and I've kind of steered away from those a little bit. I have noticed that my skin is not as good as it was when I was using like primarily Drunk Elephant products, so I may try and see what I can find alternatives for and then sprinkle in a handful of Drunk Elephant products here and there. But two of the products I was using consistently are these two right here. This is the Drunk Elephant TLC Framboos Glycolic Night Serum. This is an AHA and BHA blend nightly serum that helps exfoliate the skin every single night. And then I also was using the C Firma Day Serum. So this is a vitamin C serum. Obviously, these are two half sizes that I picked up at some point in some VIB sale within the last year or so. So I did use both of these up. I will say that with the C Firma Day Serum, I notice that I can't get one of these used up before it goes bad. And I can tell that it's going bad a couple different ways. The first way is that the consistency of it turns from a light orange to a darker orange. And also I notice that when this starts to age quite a bit, it starts to give me a little bitty breakouts across my forehead. So I may try and find a different vitamin C serum because I would like to continue using a vitamin C serum, but I just don't know if this one is perfect for me. This one, however, I do kind of miss having in my regular routine. I don't currently have one of these, and I do kind of miss it. I feel like using this every single night made a really big difference, but I've been trying to, again, branch out and try different, less expensive alternatives to products like these, and I have been missing this one, but it is what it is. We're trying out new things, branching out, seeing if we can find cheaper alternatives. All right, let's talk about a couple different makeup items. The first two are two that I am kind of decluttering. Let's talk about this one first. So during the summer, I like to have a waterproof mascara. and I opted for this one right here. This is the CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Waterproof Mascara, and I think, yeah, this is a 6-month shelf life. I did use this a couple times during the summer, but I noticed that it didn't look good. I might as well have just not been wearing anything if I was going to be wearing this around water, for example. It didn't really do much for my lashes. It was a pain in the butt to get off, and so I just didn't like this. I'm not gonna be using it over the course of probably the next 6 months, so I thought there's no use keeping it. Since I have opened it, I have used it, which has got the time ticking on it, and I can only use it for 6 months-ish. I stick pretty strongly to the shelf life on mascaras. I don't with everything, but mascaras I do. So because I won't be able to use this anymore anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and toss it. But now I know not to pick this up next year during the water season. The next mascara that I am decluttering is the Kevyn Aucoin The Expert Mascara. Now this is kind of sad. So I've received 2 of these via Octoly. The first one I really loved and used a lot, and this one I've noticed is super dry. It wasn't when I first opened it and started using it. It was working beautifully the way that I remember it working. It separates and lengthens and it creates a very classic eyelash look, and I really enjoy it. But really quickly after I opened this up, I don't know if you'll really be able to tell, but the formula has dried out so bad that it's really hard to use. And unfortunately, that means this is just no good. It dried out really fast. I've only had this for probably a month or 2, and I mean, probably a month and a half maybe. And it just really quickly became no good. So I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it. That's really disappointing because this is a very expensive mascara and I've raved about it and loved it. I don't know what happened here. Maybe it was just a fluke, or maybe I got just an exceptionally good one the first time around. I don't know, but I'd be very wary to get another one of these. Let's move back to a couple of skincare items. I picked this up a while back. This is the Alba Botanica Hawaiian Detox Scrub Anti-Pollution Volcanic Clay Hypoallergenic. This is a cruelty-free body scrub. It smelled really good, and I think I just got this at like TJ Maxx, and I really enjoyed it, used it up. If I ever saw it again in a TJ Maxx, I would probably pick it up again because I really liked it. However, I do have a couple of Lush items in my shower right now that are scrubs like this that I really love, and I feel like they work a little bit better than this. But this, if I'm not mistaken, was like $5, whereas those are between, I think, $15 and $25. So there is a price difference, but I don't know, I really liked this. And if you see this in your local TJ Maxx or something, I would recommend giving it a try. I used it on the legs and the kind of upper arm where I have some irritation sometimes, and it felt nice. It kind of helped scrub away some of that dead skin, and yeah. This is the last Drunk Elephant product I have to talk about. This is the Drunk Elephant Virgin Marula Luxury Facial Oil. I've had this for a very long time. This is a product that I always forget to reach for, and so it took me a very long time to use it up. Fortunately, this size does take a long time to get used up, so I got my money's worth out of it, even though this is just a little deluxe size. This is a really great oil. It made my skin feel really hydrated after using it. I wouldn't go out of my way to purchase a full size of this because, again, it's very expensive, and I've heard that there are lots of marula oils out there for a lot less expensive. So I'm glad that I had this to use, and I wouldn't be mad if I got another deluxe size in my life at some point, but I'm happy that I got that used up in a reasonable time. Let's talk about an eye cream. So this is the e.l.f. Illuminating Eye Cream. I picked this up because I don't have a lot of issues with my under eye area, so I don't need anything that's too expensive. But I will say that I didn't really like this. It was a little too thin for my preference. I like something that's a little more what's the word, just a thicker formula, something that's not so watery, and this was very watery. It did take me quite a while to use up, and it was fine. It just wasn't my absolute preference, and so I was happy to have this used up and not have to continue using this. I did recently get an eye cream in my BoxyCharm by Juice Beauty, and it's like $50-something, so I'm excited to have that and use it. Again, I don't struggle with a lot of issues on my under eyes, so I'm happy to have received something kind of bougie to use on them, because I don't think that I would go out and purchase something super expensive for my under eye area. But very happy to get this used up, and I wouldn't really recommend it. Let's talk about another product that I am not quite used up with, but am decluttering. If you have been keeping up with my project pans, this will be familiar to you. This is the ColourPop No Filter Sheer Pressed Powder in the shade Light. I do have a little bit left in here still, as you can see, but so much of that is just hard pan and impossible to use, and it doesn't even look good when I use it. I wouldn't repurchase this. It wasn't worth it. They're not that expensive or anything like that. I just think that there are probably other pressed powders out there that would work much better for me than this one did. So kind of disappointing, but I'm happy that I was able to try it out and get a fair amount of use out of this. I definitely feel like I got my money's worth out of it. I did use up a perfume. This is the Ariana Grande perfume. I don't know, this is what it looks like. I got this as a Christmas present a few years ago from one of my friends, and it smelled fine. It smelled good enough to use up. I don't think that I would repurchase it, but it smelled good. It smelled fine. But actually, let me rephrase that. I definitely wouldn't repurchase it because it's not cruelty free. But I was, I was happy to have a perfume to use, and it smelled good. Moving on to a pharmacy product. This is the lightweight, this is the lightweight moisturizer. I really like this. So this is the Honey Drop lightweight moisturizer with Echinacea Green Envy Honey in it. I really liked this, and I was very tempted to pick up a full size during this most recent VIB sale at Sephora, but I ultimately decided not to, and I don't really know why. I think it's because I purchased a few skincare items, and I've also got a lot of skincare that I'm working through in my bathroom, so I decided to skip for now repurchasing this. Well, this is actually only a deluxe size, but I would like to have a full size of this. I really enjoyed this. It felt really good on the skin. Yeah, I enjoyed this. I have oily skin, as I've mentioned 100 times in this video, and this worked really well for me, and I want this in my life again at some point. All right, let's talk. Okay, before I talk about this next product, I need to mention, because I get at least one comment anytime I mention this brand on my channel, and we're gonna touch on cruelty-free status for a moment. Cruelty-free means different things to different people, and that's totally fine. Totally fine. For me, and for a lot of the beauty community, cruelty-free means that if a brand sells in China, that brand is not cruelty-free, because that product can be pulled from the shelves at any point and tested on animals. Now, China had recently changed the laws a little bit, because it was that if I think anything was imported into mainland China, then it was immediately tested on animals. Now that's no longer the case, that's my understanding, and they only test if a consumer brings something up that might be concerning. That's what cruelty-free means to me. That might not be the case for everybody. Some people consider brands sold in China as cruelty-free, which I think would mean NARS is cruelty-free, MAC is cruelty-free, but that's not the case for the majority of, I think, of the people who consider themselves cruelty-free. So it was recently, well, not recently, within the last, I think 6 months or maybe even a year, it was brought to light that Wet n Wild sells in China. So a lot of people who fall under the cruelty-free umbrella don't consider them cruelty-free anymore, which I am included in that. You don't have to if that's not by your cruelty-free standards. If you haven't already checked out Jen Loves Reviews video on the different cruelty-free umbrellas and Logical Harmony's stance on the matter, I would highly recommend it. Jen Loves Reviews video specifically, because she really breaks it down on what cruelty-free means to different people and kind of which umbrella you might fall under. So with that very long digression over, I used up the Wet n Wild Photo Focus eyeshadow primer. I used to repurchase this all the time, but I am no longer doing so. I did recently purchase the Milani eyeshadow primer, which I've been wanting to try for a long time now. So I did use this up, happy to have it out of my collection, and this might be the last Wet n Wild item in my collection, maybe. I'm not 100% confident in that, but I'm pretty sure it might be. Something else that I am decluttering because it is expired. This is a cult classic in the beauty community, it seems. This is the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil Bronzer. This is what the inside looks like. Unfortunately, I have no pan in this, but a couple different things. This is very expired. I have had this for an obscene amount of years. This is one of the first products that I purchased when I got really into makeup back in 2012 or 2013, I think it was. And so this is very, very old. And also, as I was gonna try and project pan this year, and I realized that it just isn't a good shade match for me. It looks very orange and streaky and splotchy on my skin. I mean, the streaky and splotchiness might be because it's expired, but the shade match just, I didn't enjoy it. And I really don't want to use things in my collection that I just thoroughly do not enjoy using. So I decided to declutter this. I'm not gonna sell it or try and pass it along to anybody because it's expired. So it's gonna go ahead and go in the trash. All right, we're closing in. We're getting kind of close to the end. Let's go ahead and talk about another skincare item. So I was sent a few things, requested a few things from Octoly by the brand Tula Skincare. I used this up and I really enjoyed it. It has a very unique consistency. I haven't even said what this is yet. This is the So Polished Exfoliating Sugar Scrub. I used it in my shower just about every time that I showered, and I would scrub it on my face. It was a very gentle scrub, which I really, really enjoyed and thought it would work for a lot of different people. It also smelled really good. But what I will say is, so this also says that it's a probiotic and superfood. It got these really weird like white clumps in it after about a month and a half being in my shower, which kind of made me uncomfortable. It didn't seem to have harmed my skin at all, and it still functioned well the way that it's supposed to as an exfoliating scrub, but that did make me a little bit nervous. So I don't know if I would repurchase this. I tend to favor chemical exfoliants over physical exfoliants like this one. So I don't know if I would repurchase this. Well, I didn't purchase this. This was sent to me for free, but I liked it enough to use it up. And I think that if you have sensitive skin that you can't use very harsh things on, this might be a good option for you. But I don't know if I would purchase this for my skin type. So take that for what you will. Oh, all right. So next we have an Anastasia Beverly Hills product. This is the brow pomade. This is what I have left in here. You can still see a little bit of product, but this has a 6-month shelf life. I definitely had this for over 6 months. I might have actually only had this for about 9 months or so. So it took me about 9 months to use it up. I did use this just about every single day, and I did purchase a new one, I don't remember when, sometime this last year. And yeah, so I have repurchased this. This is one of the few things that I think works really well on my brows because I don't have a lot of brow from here over, so I have to really fill in and draw in the second half of my eyebrow. And this is one of the few things that I have found that really keeps that in place all day long. So I have one of these currently. I used this one basically up, and yeah, I really enjoy these a lot. Let's finish up my skincare. This is another product by Pharmacy. This is the Honey Potion Renewing Antioxidant Hydration Mask. This is another product that I was really highly considering picking up during the Sephora sale this fall and didn't, just because again I have a lot of skincare items and I spent a fair amount of money in the Sephora VIB sale. So this is a mask. It is a honey mask. When you take it out of the jar, it looks like honey, and as you rub it onto your face, it foams up in a really pleasing way. I really like this a lot. I don't really know what else to say about this other than it's a mask that feels cool to use and makes my skin look really good. All right, I have 2 more products left. Both of them are makeup items. This is one that is also extremely old in my collection, is not cruelty free, and I am very excited to have used up. It is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup. I had mine in the shade 1 and 2. I used this up through a project pan this year, and I'm very happy. I did really like this foundation, but Estee Lauder is not cruelty free. This is also very expensive, so I'm not too mad that I won't be repurchasing it anytime soon as long as Estee Lauder is not cruelty free. But yeah, I used this up. Very exciting and pleased to have used this up. And last but certainly not least is an eyeliner. This is by Makeup Revolution. This is their, I'm not totally sure, but this is what it looks like. There's no writing on this eyeliner to indicate what the name of it is. But I bought this off of somebody's recommendation, and I did really like the applicator on this. It is a pin applicator that comes to a really nice point, which I appreciate a lot. What I didn't like is the pigmentation of the product. It didn't go over glitter very well. It like picked up the glitter and that clumped around the tip of the eyeliner, and it just didn't deposit product anymore. So I tried this out and I used it a fair amount, but every time that I went to use it after I'd been using it for a while, it just didn't perform well. I couldn't get a good line with it, and so I went ahead and called it and decluttered it because I didn't like using it. I used it a fair amount. I will say I used it for probably about a month, but it just wasn't worth holding on to because it just wasn't performing well. And I don't know if that's because I put it over some glitters and it just kind of ruined it or what the deal was, but I liked this originally and then it quickly went downhill. All right, and those are all of the empty products that I wanted to chat with you and give you mini reviews on today. I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any suggestions for me or recommendations, definitely leave those down in the comments below. If you liked this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe for more content from me, don't forget to do so before you go. All of those buttons are down below, and I think that is everything I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.